And we are live. Hello, everyone. My name is Gustavo Braga from Placker. I am your host today, and welcome to another edition of our webinar, Supercharge Trello with Placker. I'm going to show you lots of good practices that you can use in your work, that you can use to improve your results in your company. So please say hello in the chat if you can hear me well, so I can know that you are here with me today, tuning in. We have lots of people from many different places. Hello, Andy. Hello, John. Thank you for your comments. Great. So we have Joanna, Kate, Pierre, Andy, Peak, Rivera, John, Julia, Patricia. Very nice that you all are tuning in today. People from United States, Germany, Spain, United Kingdom, United Arab Emirates. Very nice, guys. I am from Brazil, so a little far from all of you, but it's nice that we're all here together in this webinar. Great. So let's start our presentation now. I'm going to show you how to use Trello with Placker so you can achieve better things in your company and all the step-by-step. So if you're a beginner, if you're starting to use Placker now, then I will show you in a logical order, the step-by-step. If you already know how to use Placker, then it will also be interesting for you because I will show you the best way to view your work, to view boards. So lots of interesting content for everyone. If at any time you have any question, please leave it. There is a button underneath called, it says ask a question. Then you can leave it there. And when I finish the section, or when I finish the webinar, we will have a few minutes for questions and answers. So feel free to ask us anything, or you can also leave it in the comments section. Okay, let's start. All right, then. So today, we will show you how to save time, avoid mistakes, and get work done. These are the three main things that we can help you when you use Placker. And also for all of you who stay until the end of this webinar, we will give you a special bonus. So it's a gift that we're going to give you. It's not a discount. It's actually something that you will get for free by the end of this webinar. So please stay tuned with us. And we also encourage you to focus right now. So close the door. Tell your teammates that you're going to focus now on this webinar because I will show you everything now. So starting with Trello and Placker. So Trello is a great tool. It's pretty simple and pretty intuitive. I believe many of you already know how to use Trello. But what if you could get more? What if you could, for example, view your work across multiple boards? So in Trello, you can see only one board at a time, where in Placker, you can see all your work combined in the same view. Answer questions about your workload in seconds. So if you're working with a team or if you're working with a client and somebody asks you how is the status of your work, what's the estimated time to deliver, then you can have all these questions answered in a few seconds. Create schedules to better understand your plan. So this is something you can do also with Placker, and generate status reports in real time. So many interesting things I'm going to show you today. Let Placker help you using flexible boards for organizing. This is the first section of this webinar. I'm going to show you how to use boards, but not only a simple board view, but with flexible lists. Also, how to use Gantt charts for planning and trackers for insight. So these are the three main view modes that we have on Placker. I'm going to show you them. And some numbers about Placker. Since 2015, we have seen 9,000 boards, 140,000 members, and 11 million planned actions. This includes cards and checklist items. So lots of people using Placker. This makes us really happy that we have regular users. These users are from many different places. And we always get feedback from them, and what people say about Placker is that it helps save hours a day in planning their workload across boards by combining their boards. This saves you time from switching from one board to the other. Avoid mistakes so teams can stay focused on dependencies and deadlines using a Gantt chart. And teams become up to 30% more productive by using daily and weekly dashboards to get work done. So our third section today is how to create a custom dashboard. So if you usually spend a few hours every Friday, every week doing a weekly dashboard to deliver to a client, to your boss, then I'm going to show you how to create a custom dashboard so you can have it automatically updated every time your team updates the tasks. And the only thing you have to do is save and send, okay? Well, so demo time, we'll cover each view mode now, the flexible boards, the Gantt charts for planning, and the trackers for insight, okay? But first, let's import a new board from Trello to Placker. So I have a pre-built already board now on Trello. Let me show you. And here it is, okay? So a simple board here that I have on Trello. This is an example of a website development board. So we have a card, we have to create a website. This involves a team, this involves many challenges, and we're going to import this into Placker. So a quick overview here. I have 5 lists: backlog, to do, doing, review, and done. So these are the status of the cards. We have many different cards. Each card represents a task. Each card has also a color. It's a label. So if we click the label, you will see that we have cards related to programming, such as system development, tests, publishing, hosting. We have design, we have content, and we have management. So we have labels, and we have cards, and we have lists. What's missing here? Something that's missing is our team, right? So I'm the only person in this board right now. So let me add our teammates that will help us in this board today. I will add Sam, and I will add Sarah. So that's my team. Let me add them to the board. And I'm going to also add a member and a due date to one of these cards. For example, user research. Let's suppose when we click the card, I will add Sam to this card, and I will add a due date. Let's suppose this is already done, right? So I did this November 27th, Tuesday, and I will mark it as complete. Okay, so quick overview about Trello. And it's a great tool. Like I said, you can have some very important information, right? The members and the due dates. This is absolutely important. But what if we want to see the start date of the tasks? What if we want to have a schedule? What if we want to know the budget? What if we want to prioritize? So these are things that are missing here on Trello and that you can add on Placker. So that's why we're going to move now to our Placker account. We have our boards, and I will import this Trello board into Placker now. Okay, I clicked add/import board into our organization. Import from Trello. We could also import from a spreadsheet or create it from scratch. And I'm going to add this same board, website development. Okay, so website development, import board. The moment you import this board, you can have you can select how you're going to track your progress using Placker. So I'm going to select it by changing lists, and each list reflects a different status. So if you're going to generate a status report later, this is very important to mark every card that is on backlog as not scoped. Every card on to do are open. Doing, they have started, but they haven't yet finished. Review are paused. So we have started, we are pausing for a review. And after they're done, they are completed. Okay, finalize and open board. Great, so this is our board. This is our view on Placker, sorry. You can see that it's pretty similar to Trello, but you have more possibilities here. For example, our user research. If you click user research, you will have a panel on the right hand side that will show you not only the members, the due dates, and the labels, but also you have plan dates for start and end. So, okay, I finished this task on November 7th, 27th. But when did I start? I started it, let's say, November 23rd. Okay, so that's my start date. It automatically calculates that I took 2 days and 3 hours because there was a weekend in between. So, and we also can adjust the actual date. So that's my plan dates, 23 to 27. And when did I actually start? When did I actually finish, right? You can even compare this in the Gantt chart later. And you can click also this button, show empty attributes. And then you'll see that you have more attributes here, such as story points. If you're working in a Scrum methodology, you have budget, how much will this card cost and how much did it actually cost, how much did I already spend. Progress goes from 0 to 100%. You have priority, high, medium, low, and much more. Okay, so you have everything that you have in Trello, but more. And to change these attributes, you can also click each card and change the right-hand panel here. So let's assign a member. I will assign Sarah to this one, and I will set a due date for today. So end date will be November. What day is today? November 28th. Okay. So you can add members and due dates here like you would on Trello. But what you can also do is use flexible lists for that. It's a different way of assigning information. Okay. So now that we are in board view, I'm going to show you how to support more workflows using more attributes, track your progress automatically, understand your work using flexible layouts, see the big picture by combining multiple boards, and create a custom view across boards. Well, so the other way, as I said, is flexible lists. So we have default lists here, just like we had in Trello, backlog, to do, doing, review, and done. But what if we're going to have a meeting with our team? I'm going to have a meeting with Sarah and Sam, and I want to see every card that is assigned to each of them, right? So, of course, I could see the green ones that are assigned to Sam and the purple ones that are assigned to Sarah, but there is a better way to do this. It's clicking on Set Layout and selecting List Board by Member. Then automatically you will have a separate list, one list for not assigned cards. These cards don't have a member assigned, a list for Sam, and a list for Sarah. And I can also assign easily each card for each of these members by clicking and dragging. So project plan, for example, I'm going to assign this to Sarah, let's say. So I'm going to click and drag. Hosting, so who is our programmer? Our programmer here is Sarah. So I'm going to assign hosting to Sarah, articles to Sam, wireframes, and there you go. An easy way to assign cards for each member and to make sure that you don't have any cards that don't have a member assigned. Of course, if we have a card that nobody's going to do, this card will never get done, right? So we have here our list for Sam and for Sarah. And something interesting that you can do also is to have a different list for each week, right? So click on Set Layout. We can see here. Actually, before I show you the weekly planner, this is list board by member, okay? So each member has a list. What if I want to have one board for each member? I can split the board by member, and then you see that we have one board above for Sam. He has live demo, articles, wireframe. I can see all the cards that are assigned to Sam. With the default lists, I can see a board for Sarah, and I can even move a card from one to the other. So let's say that I'm going to tell Sarah to do the wireframe, so I can drag from Sam to Sarah, and automatically the assigned member changes. Okay, so you can have a list by member, or you can split one board for each member. Now let's see the weekly planner. So you can select here on set layout, weekly planner, and we can see here that we have cards that don't have a due date yet. We have cards that should have been done earlier, but they're not finished yet. We have this week, we have next week, we have the week of December 10th, we have the week of December 17th. So you can see, and you can also assign. So let's say project plan. This is this week. We also have hosting. Let's say we're going to do this week. Articles. Okay, so this is enough for this week. Let's move articles to next week. Wireframes next week. Page design next week. System development next week. Tests. Then we can move it to the other week. Okay, so another simple way to assign cards to every list here on our weekly planner. Okay, so you can see that automatically they all have a due date now. So articles December 3rd, wireframe December 3rd. It's the same as you click and you change the due date on plan date. Okay, so whatever you find best. If you prefer to click and change the due date manually, it's okay. If you prefer to drag it from one week to the other, that's okay as well. Okay, and now you have a clear view of which cards are going to happen every week. Okay, John, can you show how you got to the weekly layout again? Of course, I have clicked here on set layout. So it's a button here on the top right corner. And you can select dragging down to weekly planner. Okay. You have also daily planner and monthly planner if you're dealing with a long-term project or a short-term project. Okay. Another question here. When you set layout by member, how does it work when there are more than one member assigned to a task? Okay, Andy, good question. So let's say we have a card here that is assigned to both Sarah and Sam. So for example, system development. I'm going to click system development. I'm going to assign not only Sarah, but also Sam, right? So we have two members assigned here. And let's see, list board by member. Remember that system development has two assigned members and it's duplicate. Okay, so we have a list of Sam. In Sam's list, we have system development, and we have a list for Sarah. In Sarah's list, we have also system development. So it's duplicate. Okay, so same thing here for split board by member. You have system development on both. Okay, great. You have more options here, but since our time is short here for this webinar, let's move on. So what else I'm going to show you today? How to combine boards and create a custom view. Right, so first thing, let's go back to default view. So set layout, default boards and lists. We are back in our previous view mode. And let's suppose that we want to see many boards at the same time, okay? In our company, we're not working in only one project, we're working in many. So we can click select boards and select, for example, which are the other products that you are working on right now. So I'm going to select another board. So we have two boards here selected. I'm going to load them. And we have a combined board with two boards at the same time, okay? So it's actually a copy, but suppose it's two different boards, right? So I have board number 1, I have board number 2, and if I click combine boards, they will be all merged in the same board, okay? It doesn't mean you merge them forever. It's only a view in which you can combine these two, or you can see them separate if you want. Okay, so this is great if you're managing a team with dealing with many different boards at the same time. You can see the big picture here. And something interesting that you can do here as well is to create a bookmark. So what is a bookmark? It's a custom view with a filter or with a layout that you prefer, that you use very often, and that you want to save it to have a quick access. So let's say that I am Sam, and I want to see everything that I have to do in all of these two boards. So what I'm going to do, we have already combined the boards. So step 1, okay. Step 2, I'm going to filter. I'm going to see only the cards assigned to Sam. So click filter, and okay, so filter and settings here in the upper left corner. And I'm going to show only the cards assigned to Sam. So let's type Sam here. There you go. You can see that we have cards assigned to Sam across boards. And now I'm going to save this bookmark. Okay, so filter and settings, create a new bookmark, and I'm going to name this Sam's cards across boards. So this is very nice. So if I just arrived in the company today in the morning, then I can access this bookmark and see everything that I have to do. Very practical, right? So how does this work? Okay, we have combined the boards, we have created this bookmark. So now if I go back to the home screen, back to overview, and I'm going to click website development, then it will go back to the default view, right? Default lists without cards across boards. But if I click the bookmark that I have just saved, so that is Sam's cards across the boards, I will have automatically the combined boards with the filter Sam, right? So that's how bookmark works. Okay, you can do this also for your Gantt charts. If you have some custom view that you like on Gantt charts, you can also create a bookmark for that and update and share it with your team. Great, guys. So that's it about boards. If you have any questions, please let me know. Then I will answer now or after we finish the webinar. Well, so next view mode we have is Gantt charts for planning. I will show you how to read the Gantt, plan the cards visually, manage dependencies, manage workload by member, customize your Gantt, and communicate your plan using export. Well, okay, so let's go back to website development. And now we're going to select Gantt. So now we're talking about schedule. We're talking about the time it's going to take for each card to be finished. So Gantt chart. Gantt is the name of the person who invented this, just as a curiosity. And now let's see what we're going to do here. We have our list of cards. So website development, backlog, to do, doing, right? So here a list of all of the cards. And we also have here the timeline, okay? So November 27, 28, 29, we can see. And this project is going to finish December 10th, okay? So December 10th is going to be the due date for this project. Well, the first thing that I like to do every time I go to a Gantt chart is click on set order and then change this to by start date. So you have it all in a chronological order and not grouped by list as we had before. What else? We can also change the dates manually by clicking and dragging the cards. So you have seen that we have a card here in this row, and the columns is which day it starts until which day. So let's suppose that we have requirements starting here November 28th, and we're going to finish this one November 30th. So how can I change the end date? I can click and drag, right? So click and drag so it finishes December 30, or even December 3rd. And the other option is to click the row or the bar and change it manually using the due date. So every attribute that you had on board view, you also have them there in Gantt view. So you can change the due dates using this. You can also change the progress using this triangle below. So the triangle is at the beginning of this bar. I can click and drag, so automatically the status will be updated here. So let me drag it to more or less 30% or so. And we can also create a dependency. So let's suppose that we have a logical order here. First, we do user research, then we start requirements. So to define the requirements, we need to have the user research done. We're going to create a dependency. So if you hover the mouse over the bar of user research, you will see that there is a circle right at the end. You can click the circle and drag until the circle of the start of requirements. Then you automatically will create a dependency. Well, we also have project plan. So if you need to finish requirements before you start project plan, then the project plan shouldn't start December 28th, right? It should start only December 4th because we have already delivered requirements. So let's do the same thing. Click from one card, from one bar to the other bar, and automatically project plan now starts only December 4th, respecting the dependency. Okay, so it's pretty simple. You can click and drag from one dependency to the other. And also, if you click the arrow, you have more information on this dependency. So for example, if we want to finish one task, wait for one day, and then start the other, we can add in between 1 day as a lag between these two cards. Update duration, there it is. So we finish project plan December 4th, we wait for 1 day, and then we will start the next task, which is hosting. Okay, guys, so this is how you manage dates between one card to the other. There are many different options that you have here. You can change the color, for example, by label. So if you click color, you can show a different color by label or by status. You can also split your Gantt chart by member. So we can have one Gantt chart for each person that is assigned. So list by member. We have one Gantt chart for Sam and one Gantt chart for Sarah. So many things that you can do. You can change the zoom. You can click filter and settings, and then you will see that you have Gantt chart scale, Gantt chart visuals, Gantt chart layout and order, columns. So many things you can change. After you customize your Gantt the way that works best for you, you can also create a bookmark so you don't have to customize it every time you go to Gantt. You will leave it saved, right? So this is another thing that makes you gain a lot of time. And after you finished your Gantt chart, you finished customizing, you finished updating, you can export this Gantt chart for if you want to send it for a client. Let's suppose that your client doesn't have a Placker account, so you can't add him as a member to your Placker Gantt chart. But you can click export and export, for example, to PDF or PNG or a Microsoft project. Maybe the most practical way is PDF. So you can see after it has finished downloading, you have your PDF ready to be sent by email or if you would prefer to print and make it very visible on your wall, you can do that as well. Okay, so that's it about Gantt charts. Any questions, please let me know. Otherwise, we're going to move to trackers for insight. Well, so trackers is another great tool that you have in Placker. You can have a dashboard with charts. You can have the default dashboard, or you can create your own dashboard with your specific cards. And this, of course, will help you make decisions. If you know if your project is on schedule or if it's late, if it's below your budget, this can help you make some decisions, like should I hire more people to work in this project, or is it going well? So let's create our dashboard. So we're going to go to track view now. Okay, so I'm sorry, I'm in another dashboard here. Let me go to the custom dashboard. Default dashboard. So every time you click on track, you will see your default dashboard. The default dashboard has many pages. The first page shows you the number of cards. For example, by list, you have 4 cards on backlog, 4 on to do, 1 doing, 1 review, 1 done. We have 7 cards assigned to Sarah, 5 cards assigned to Sam. So number of cards by member. Okay. I see I have a question here about Gantt chart. I will get back to this question by the end of the webinar. Okay, Joanna? And so we have other pages here. We have widget types, we have workload, we have burn down charts. So many different cards, many different pages here for our default dashboard. But I'm going to show you how to create your own dashboard from scratch. So we're going to create a dashboard. So click this button, create dashboard. We have already our board selected. So this will be a dashboard that will apply to website development. And we're going to set a filter if you want, for example, a filter only for Sam, but that's not the case. So let's move to set layout. And here we can create a copy from one of the dashboards that we already have, or we can start with an empty dashboard, and that's what we're going to do now. Next, finalize. Let's name this website dashboard. Create a dashboard, and here we go. We have our empty areas here, and we can add the widgets that we want. First thing, let's delete this sample text widget. So let's click on edit and delete this sample widget. And now I'm going to add 3 widgets, okay? So 3 widgets. When you click add widget, you can select the type of widget that you want. The tracker widget is the same as we've seen before. The number of cards, for example, by member or by list. I'm going to select by member, so I want to see the number of cards by member. But something interesting that you can do in this widget is not only see the number of cards, because the number of cards can be tricky, right? So it can be a very simple card, like send an email. It's a card, right? But it can be a very big cards. For example, create the project plan. It's something that takes a lot of time, a lot of effort. So in this case, we're not going to see the number of cards by member, but we're going to see the effort by member. How many days is each person in our project working? So you can click instead the unit of measure here. Instead of copying from dashboard, we're going to select effort. So effort by member. Okay, so Sarah is working 7 days, Sam is working 2.3 days, and I'm not working any day. Okay, so shame on me. Well, let's add another widget here. We're going to select another interesting type of widget, which is the donut counter. So donut counter is going to show you the percentage of cards that are open. We have 57% open. You can hover the mouse. We have 14% started, 14% pending, and 14% completed. Okay, another one that I'm going to show you now is add widget, and let's select attribute picker. So select attribute picker. We're going to select an attribute picker also by member. So how does this attribute picker work? You can select a member of your team, for example, Sarah and Sam, and when we click this member, the whole dashboard will be filtered to show only the cards assigned to this member. So it's like an automatic way of filtering your dashboard. Right, so we have more empty spaces here. There's one more widget that I want to show you. So we're going to click add widget here and select, let's see, graph. Okay, so we have burn down graph and we have completion graph. We're going to do the completion graph, and we could also have selected effort, but here it's showing the number of cards. So this will give you a trend for your project from the start date to the end date and the number of cards that you have completed, for example, in each day. Let's remove the areas underneath and besides, so you can see it with more details, and save the changes. And you can see, for example, today, November 28th, I left my mouse there, and we have 7 cards in scoped, 1 completed. So for example, next week, let's say December 3rd, we have 1 card completed, and we have 5 cards to be completed. Okay, so if someone in your teams asks you how many cards are you going to have done by December 3rd, so the plan is that we will have completed 3 cards. Okay, so another way of viewing your work. This helps you make many important decisions. And if you click anywhere you click here, for example, if I click the number of cards by Sarah, okay, it's going to show your right-hand panel with the number of cards, I'm sorry, what are the cards that Sarah has to do. Okay, if I have 14% completed task and I click here, you will see that it's the user research. And if you click user research, you can also make some changes right from the dashboard, right? So that's it. These are only a few of the widgets that you can use. So feel free to explore and discover the other widgets, because there are many interesting things that you can add to make better decisions. Okay, guys, so that's it about our trackers. Well, moving on, we have shown you today the 3 main view modes. There are some topics that we could not cover today. So we have projects by Placker power-up. This is a power-up that you can add on Trello, so you can change your attributes from Trello instead of Placker. We have card mirroring, so you can create a copy that will be linked from one board to the other. This is something we're going to show in other webinars. We have time tracking based on progress updates, custom attributes, effort or story points, and for more, go to help.placker.com. Okay, so if you visit help.placker.com, you will see our help center with many articles that can help you if you have any question or if you want to learn more about Placker. And now it's up to you. Okay, guys, so the playback of this webinar will be available. Okay, I know that it's a lot of content in a short time, so maybe I went a little bit fast on some of the topics. If you want to see it with more details, you will receive a copy of this webinar. Use the quick reference card from Help Center and contact us in the chat if you need any help. Okay, so if you're working and you don't know how to do something, or if you forgot, or you want to give us a feedback, We're always available on chat, and we will respond to you as soon as possible. Right, guys? Well, this is our help center, so feel free to explore. And as promised, we have a special bonus for all of you. So for all of you who stayed until now, we will give you a free $100 consulting session for free. So this is another service that we provide here on Placker. We can give you consulting sessions to help you get your projects up and running. And these consulting sessions usually cost $100, but for all of you who watch this webinar, you will get one for free, okay? That's right, we're going to schedule a call with you. So one of the project experts here that we have on Placker can give you advice in a one-on-one consulting. And if you want to schedule this consulting session, I'm going to enable now a call to action button here in the webinar page. You can see in the lower area, there's a button, schedule my bonus. Then you can click there. You have access to my schedule and select the best time slot for you, okay? And we do that because we believe that if you have the right tools and if you have some support by using Placker, you can achieve great things. Okay, so you can schedule your bonus right away. And we've arrived to the end of our webinar, so this is a time for questions and answers. So you can ask us anything that is not clear from this webinar or anything that you want to learn. And we also have other webinars, okay? So we have this webinar that is called Supercharge Trello with Placker, that is more focused on Gantt and dashboards. And we have another webinar called How to Use Scrum with Placker. So if you want to visit our webinar page, crowdcast.io/Placker, I'm going to put here in the comment section, you can sign up for other webinars also. Okay, so I put it here, crowdcast.io/Placker. So sign up to Scrum webinar, and or if you prefer to see the recording from the one we did last week, that's fine. Okay, guys, so let's go to our questions. We have, can you view, okay, so we have one question here from Pierre. Is there a way to automatically plan activities? I'm not sure what you mean about automatically planning, Pierre. So if you can be a little bit more specific about that, I will be glad to show you how to plan your activities. And meanwhile, we have one from Joanna. Can you view a Gantt chart for one person of all their tasks across multiple boards? Okay, so I suppose it's the same thing that we did before as a bookmark for our board, right? So we went to board, we created a filter, for example, for Sam, and we filtered Sam tasks, and we saw what he's doing in all of the projects. We can do the same thing here on Gantt, okay? So if I want a Gantt chart combining two different boards, right? So we can select two different boards. I will add two different boards. I'm going to set the layout by default. Okay, so we have two different boards combined here in the same screen. And we can filter, for example, Sam. Okay, so the same thing we did before is also possible to do here in our Gantt chart. Okay, Joanna, please let me know if that answers your question. And let's see, we have one more from John. Is there a way to group tasks together, not in cards? With large numbers of to-do cards, they can get overwhelming. Okay, so is there a way to group tasks together, not in cards? Okay, I think I understand. So if we are working with a big project, then we can let me remove the filter here and combine. So if we are dealing with projects that have a big number of cards, then this list could be very large, and we could have to scroll down to see all the cards, right? So it can be a little overwhelming indeed. Well, this depends in each case, right? So maybe something you could do is create one big board and use filters so you don't get overwhelmed with the number of cards. For example, I have a lot of cards here, and it's difficult. It's hard for me to understand and to not get lost in the number of cards. So the first tip here is to select and filter the information that you need right now. So let's say I'm having a meeting with my client today by the end of the day, and he wants to talk specifically about time, right? So I can create a filter. So I don't need to see everything that's going on in my project. I can create a filter for only the cards that are going to happen, for example, this week. So I can set a filter here. This will reduce the number of cards that are showing here. So let's say completed, due in 2 or 7 days. Okay, so now I'm filtering and I see only the cards that are assigned to next week, for example. Or you could also, depending on the case, split your board. So if we have one huge board, let's say we have a board for marketing, okay? Everything that we have to do on marketing, we have a specific board for that. Maybe it would be better to break it down in different boards. So we have one board for digital marketing, we have one board for sales, we have one board for, I don't know, printed materials. So breaking down your boards so they don't become very huge and very overwhelming. And of course, if you want to have the big picture of the whole marketing process, you can select boards and combine them. Okay, John, I hope that answers your question. And let's see, there's one more from Andy. Is it possible to link a task on, sorry. Is it possible to link a task on one board to a task on another board as a dependency in the Gantt? And then if you change a due date on the first task, in Trello, will it automatically adjust the due date on the task in the other board? Okay, Andy, that's a great question. Actually, I never tried to do that, but we can make a quick test here. So let's suppose we have two different boards. Okay, let me select website development, and let me select the done web development. And let me remove here the filter. And here on, okay, so we have the boards combined. I have to change that, so let's go to, okay, now we have the boards combined. So let me go back, open the first board, website development. I will go to Gantt chart. I will select the second board. Okay, so we have two different boards here. We have website development board and we have the done web development board. So let's suppose these are two different projects and we're going to link a task from one to the other. Let's suppose that we have to finish this task in order to start our publishing. So we click here and we drag until publishing. Let's see if this works. Apparently not. I think it doesn't work. Oh yes, it took a while, but it did work. So Andy, yes, you can create a dependency from one board to the other. And if you change the due date in Trello, it is always connected from Trello to Placker. So every time you make a change in Trello, it automatically will change in Placker and vice versa. So yes, if you change the publishing due date in Trello, automatically it will reflect on Placker and consequently on publishing. Okay? Any other question, guys? Well, okay, so if you need anything else, we will be available at the chat. So now it's up to you. So practice everything that we learn here in this project, apply them to your own project, and if you need any help, let me know. Okay. So next week we have a Scrum webinar. If you're able, I'll see you there. Otherwise, we'll see you on the next one. Okay. So thank you, everyone. See you the next time. Bye. Cheers.